Joining me right now is one of the 11 state attorneys generals to join the DOJ's case, Florida Attorney General Ashley Moody. Ashley Moody, great to have you this morning. Thanks very much for being here. State the case. Tell us where the wrongdoing is in this case.
Well, as you know, a bipartisan group of attorneys general have been looking at this for some time. And on both sides of the aisle, people understand that there are concerns when one company has so much economic power and control over a market. And you said it, when you have 90% of a market, when you are controlling what individuals can search, what ads they see, that is concerning not only for consumers, and how that might harm them, but also in terms of innovation and other competitors. So this is a historic action. This will ensure, going forward, fair competition for years to come, affecting the lives, really, of all Americans, because we know technology touches the lives of all Americans.
Yeah, but A.G. Moody, let me ask you, I mean, normally what you want to see in a free democracy, in capitalism, you want to see competitors come onto the scene. You want to see somebody come on and say, yeah, I've got a better product than Google. And that's how it works out. Rather than having big government hand come in and say, you've got too much power, we're going to take that power away from you. How come we haven't seen competition in this space? What's the problem? Why is it that Google has 90% market share?
Absolutely. You are right. You always want to undertake these types of investigations and actions with great concern. You don't want government interfering in a fair competitive marketplace unless, of course, unlawful competitive actions are taken by a company which allow it to have so much influence, so much dominance, where exclusionary agreements are undertaken, where they pay billions to be the sole provider or the sole company that has technology on devices. If you, in fact, build a moat around your core product and you don't allow others to enter that marketplace because you have achieved such dominance, that's where the problem lies. Other countries have already looked at this. It's time that we do so in America. And as Attorney General of Florida, I'll continue to work in a bipartisan way with attorneys general and the DOJ to effectively pursue this action.
Well, this is a really important point that you're making, Ashley. And if that's the case, that you have evidence, that the DOJ has evidence that they did create this moat around them so that nobody else could come into the market, then Steve Forbes, I assume you agree that something should be done. I mean, Steve, you know you want to see competition in this marketplace, but there is none. Google has 90% market share in search.
That's right. And also, though, I think they're going to have to show the actual harm done to consumers and competitors. It's kind of vague right now. I'm sure they have the evidence there to show that illegalities were committed. And also distinguishing what the EU did a few years ago, where Google ended up paying a fine and things went so-called back to normal. And I'm wondering whether the AG has learned from what happened with the EU in this suit, what they're going to do differently than what the EU did a couple of years ago.
Go ahead, AG.
Well, and that's correct. You know, a lot of folks, again, on both sides of the aisle are saying, you know, we need to make sure that we approach this case to ensure that, whether that's through company behavior or through other some sort of reformation or structure, we allow other companies in this space, that we promote innovation and fair competition. That's the underlying purpose of this suit. That's what we will as we move forward in the litigation and the discovery unfolds, that's what we will ultimately look at to determine what sort of resolution will allow more companies into this space.
All right. It's a really important conversation. A.G. Moody, we'll be watching your work. Thank you so much for joining us this morning and laying it all out. Ashley Moody this morning.